What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video I'd like to talk about 3 cryptos that I think are set to pump over the coming days, over the coming weeks. If that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it, okay? Here we are, talking about Zora first, and then Cookie DAO, and we'll finish up the video with a surprise analysis on soon. So we'll talk about Zora, and then Cookie, and then soon. Hit the like button, subscribe, let's get into it. Zora here at 5.57 cents. It looks immaculate. It looks stupendous. It looks like it's ready to fly. You've literally got this flat top with descending lows. You couldn't ask for a better bottom signal right here, genuinely. The volume's dead. Typically, you get dead volume whenever you're about to break out one way or the other. I think we're going to go one way and one way only, and that's to the upside. Last time we were at these levels and we broke out, we saw a move that in one day pumped 46%, and from this current price to the high of what we saw the following day would have been 122% move overall. In short, in a 48-hour period, we saw a move that was over 100%. Even on the 10th of October, where most cryptos were crashing, stupendous growth. You've come down, you formed a double bottom here, consolidating at the top end of this range here, right? It's almost like you've got a giant bull flag, is what it looks like to me. And we're going to rally. We're going to rally. If this is a bull flag, and I think it is, I'm pretty confident it is, the measure move would take us all the way up to about 70, 80 cents. Now, the thing about measure moves is that they are ideas. They're not requirements. They're just ideas. We don't have to stop here. We could stop lower. We could stop higher. We might stop here momentarily and then continue to push higher. Who knows? But that's the idea. The measure move is right there. If we take a high to a low of this pattern here, the measure move would take us all the way up to the 2272. It's very common with the 2272 that you don't stop right at it, but you go just above it. So maybe we do go to 80 cents, maybe we go to $1. Hell, maybe we go all the way up to $1.17. I would say from here at 5.5 cents, 5.57 cents, that anything from 75 cents to, it might sound crazy, $2.20 is a possibility. That is our little area of possibilities. Now, the most probable outcome is that we stop somewhere in here, between $1.17 and 75 cents. If I had to bet, I wouldn't want to bet, but if I had to bet where you'd stop in this range, it would be here. Would I bet against this though? No. And just because you get to $1.64 doesn't mean you go to 220, but understand what we're saying here is that at a maximum, your potential here could be a 40x, basically, like a 37x. On the minimum end, we're talking about a 13x move. So you've got ample opportunity with Zora here. It's got a low enough market cap. This is crypto. Things are shaping up right now. Imagine we hit these extreme levels of fear. Bitcoin convinces everybody we're in a bear market, and then we got 3 days left in this month. Imagine Bitcoin comes up and closes at like 100K or 97K. And we leave behind a massive wick on this candle here. Imagine how bullish altcoins are going to be. And you have Zora, one of the most bullish coins behind Zcash that exists with this October 10th dump. It was the only coin that was actually pumping during that time besides Zcash. It did dump back down, to be fair, but imagine this one pumping and running, altcoins rallying. I can't imagine anything less than a 75% move, something that would be an appropriate similarity to this here. Now, outside of the bull flag idea, there's also this idea that we're in a 5-legged move where it's called an impulsive count, right? You have an Elliott wave, impulsive wave here, where you get wave 1 is an impulse wave, wave 2 is a consolidation phase, wave 3 is an impulsive wave 4 is consolidation, wave 5 is the top. You get 5 counts, 2 consolidation phases wherever they might be, and then 3 impulsive moves. The impulsive moves are voluptuous. If we are in a 5-wave count, then technically, the next leg is statistically probable to be larger than the first leg. So calling for prices that are below, calling for 75 cents or below just doesn't make sense. The most likely outcome based off of that theory would be about $1.17. I have very, very high hopes that we will see prices go to above $1. We're at 5.5 cents now. I have very high hopes that we'll see something above $1 here, potentially by the end of this year, if not in January. Like, this is going to be a very fast move, okay? Wave 3 is typically more voluptuous. It's the biggest move out of all the waves. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, that's Zora. Very bullish on Zora. If you didn't catch the vibe, I think that it's a perfect time to buy. I highly doubt that we go any lower. I would be very surprised. I mean, this thing's about to rally. We really are about to get a serious lift off of the ground here. That's Zora. Let's move on. We're going to talk about Cookie Dow, talking about another fantastic opportunity. Cookie here at 5.6 cents. Hey, that 5.5 cent area looks to be appetizing for more than just Zora here. If we're looking at this from a low to a high, we've gone all the way down just above our 1272, but that's close enough. Sometimes you don't, and Cookie hasn't really respected its fibs, to be completely fair, but sometimes you get close to your fibs and then you miss them, and that's because there's not enough selling pressure or there's too much buying pressure at what is a very obvious fib level, and that's called front running. And we typically get very nice reactions off of that. Up 16% this week. That's a pretty nice reaction. This could be the beginning of something very voluptuous. I think the way that we're set up here is for a V-shaped recovery. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if by the end of this year of 2025, by the end of December, if Cookie Dow is all the way back at 20 cents or higher. Okay, which isn't as crazy as Zora might be. But man, we've got 3x, 4x potential here in a very short amount of time. Past that, going into next year, we could truly see this thing approach its all-time high prices, if not even see new all-time highs altogether by the end of January. Right, the high to the low expectation. We're not going to take the Scamwick low, but we'll take this low. The minimum move would be a 32x. The golden ratio would then be a 90x move. And I'm not saying that we'll hit these in January. Maybe we do. Likely, if we hit the zone at all, we'd stop around like $1.85, $2.80 in January at the earliest. Likely, this target won't be happening until later in Q1, but I still do think that it's happening. And I really wouldn't be surprised at all with Cookie Dow if it was the end of January and we were at new all-time highs. Okay, and here we are at about 5.6 cents now. I think we have stupendous potential, stupendous opportunity here. That's my thoughts there. If we're looking at the 4-hour time frame, looks very bullish here. The daily time frame, bearish, but you're shaping up well. Stochastic suggests we move higher. MACD just crossed green. Weekly time frame bouncing right off the oversold zone. Bullish divergence on the stochastics and bullish divergence on your MACD, all signaling that we are probably at a low point here. We take our all-time low to our all-time high right at the 786 area to bounce, kind of like a double bottom here, but I wouldn't count that as real price action. And I just think we're ready to move up higher. Mark my words, this month of November, how long it took to get down here, it will only take 1 week to evaporate that. Like 1 week, maybe it's this next 3-day period, maybe it's next week, the very opening week of December, but it's going to take a very short amount of time to evaporate that. That's how you know the bulls are in charge, right? It took not much time to eat this back. It took not much time to make this move here, but a lot of time to move down. When we move up, we're going to take the elevator, not the stairs. And it's going to be fantastic. I truly expect that Cookie Dow, by the end of this cycle, will be worth something around $10 or more. $10 to $30, maybe $40, something like that at the highest. Anyways, that's Cookie Dow here at 5.6 cents. Tremendous growth potential. Absolutely tremendous growth potential. What else do we have here? Cookie. And then we're going to talk about Soon. Soon. That's right. What was that? If I type in Soon L. Soon 2. Oh, look, we've got the all-time history chart. That's nice. Is this right? Soon 2 USD. Let's do Soon. We'll do Bybit. I like this chart more. It's got volume on it. Let's use this. Soon is a kind of shot in the dark token that we've had our eyes on for quite some time. First talked about it back here, right? Had a nice little lift, and then it dropped. People were ridiculing me, saying that I was just promoting more scams, and I doubled down and I said this is actually a great opportunity to buy. And well, here we are. Even if you bought the high of this range, even if you bought the absolute high, you were the top. Here we are. Not so far away, right? That was in July. It's November now. That wasn't too long ago. Up 3x. You're up 3x from the highest point of this range where we were advocating the buy. We advocated the buy here. We advocated the buy here too, by the way. And we did advocate the buy here. And we have ever since. We've been advocating for the buy as well. Overall, you've dropped 90% from your high, 91%, and you're still up 3x from the highest point of this low area that we were calling for. Spectacular. It's spectacular not because it's built on straw. Its foundation is built on mud and sticks. It's really not that sturdy. It's not fantastic because of that. It's fantastic because there's opportunity here. With a 91% drop comes, even if you don't believe in this project, even if you don't believe that it'll see new all-time highs, who knows? There should be some type of sizable relief rally. Imagine that all we get from here is a pump that takes us to these highs and we reject there. That's a 97% move. In the short term, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I mean, you could buy this today and tomorrow we're up there like that. Who knows if we see higher new all-time highs? If we get to new all-time highs, we're going to see something that is greater than likely a 10x move. I think we'll see new all-time highs. That's my expectation, but it's very volatile, this price action here. Where we are is we're finding support at prior resistance here, and your very beginning areas of resistance here. We're just finding support at prior resistance right now. I think that it's fine. We've seen a massive dump off. And you can tell that this thing, there's not a lot of volume. You can tell it doesn't need much volume to get pushed around, but hey, low to high, we're also right at the golden ratio. I think it's a perfect time to buy, and mark my words, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Soon's market cap is, I don't know if you guys can hear my daughter screaming, but I think she just hopped in the shower with my wife, and I don't know why she's screaming. Anyways, hopefully that doesn't persist too much longer, but we're almost done. Soon has a $163 million market cap. There's a lot of potential here. You can see 100x. You can see a multi-100x by the end of the cycle. How many cryptos since July look like this, right? Zcash, Dash, maybe that's it, right? Not many cryptos look like this. Not many cryptos are 90% down at their golden ratio, at prior areas of resistance, ready to bounce, that are at these low market cap levels. I don't know why CoinMarketCap takes its time to load every time. They went through an update or something, and it's kind of a down date in my opinion. I would expect that we do see tremendous growth, and I do expect that soon we'll see new all-time highs at some point. But the main point isn't to think about the long term here. If you want to think about the long term, there's tremendous potential. This thing being at 55 cents could easily break $100 if it wanted to, or at least $50 somewhere in there. I think that we could see 100x or multi-100x. But the point being here, that in the short term we're going to see some life come back to this. You don't even have to be in it for the long term. You could just buy here, it pumps 100%, you get out and you put it back into your coin that hasn't pumped yet. I don't know, whatever coin that might be. But I think this is a very good short-term play. I think all of these are very good short-term plays. I think Zora, Cookie, and Soon might impress the market over the next couple of weeks here. I've got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves. Bye.